In today's news, a US intel leak causes panic, doctors go on strike in the UK, and potential peace in Yemen. The US Department of Justice has launched a probe into the recent leak of intel related to Ukraine, China, and the Middle East. The Pentagon said on Sunday that it had made a formal referral to the Department of Justice, asking it to investigate the origin of the leak, which has been circulated widely on Twitter and Minecraft Discord servers. The documents, which appear to be secret daily updates produced by the US military's Joint Staff, contain intelligence and spying efforts related to Ukraine, China, the Middle East, and Africa. Most embarrassingly for the US, the leak shows how Washington has been spying on close US allies such as Ukraine, South Korea, and Israel. Many of the leaked documents in relation to Ukraine cast light on the dire situation of the Ukrainian war effort, and how the US continues to push for war over a ceasefire. One document dated February 23rd describes how Ukraine's air defense systems are on track to run out of munitions by May if they continue depleting stockpiles at the current rate. Another document states that Israel's Mossad intelligence agency encouraged protest against Netanyahu's controversial judicial reforms. In yet another document, senior South Korean officials discussed coming under US pressure to help supply weapons to Ukraine in violation of Seoul's policy against exporting weapons to countries in conflict. Although this is the most serious public leak of classified information in years, it still doesn't reach the scale and scope of the 700,000 documents, videos, and diplomatic cables that appeared on the WikiLeaks website in 2013, which extensively detailed American war crimes in Iraq and Afghanistan. Many experts have noted that this incident further proves that Washington is the biggest obstacle for the international community to promote a ceasefire and peace talks for the ongoing Ukraine crisis. The regular excuses have begun emanating from Washington, with the ever-present Russian PSYOP narrative re-emerging as a popular explanation despite little evidence to suggest Russian involvement. More transparently, some national security experts and US officials say they currently suspect that the leaker could be American, but that more investigation is required. In global news, world food prices declined for the 12th consecutive month in March, as reported on Friday by the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, or FAO. This is the first time the index has fallen for a full year. But while prices have dropped at the global level, in domestic markets they remain very high and continue to increase, posing additional challenges to food security. This is especially the case for developing countries with net food imports, as profit-driven markets continue to fail to utilize the global food price drop. In the UK, a 4-day strike planned by tens of thousands of doctors next week could lead to the postponement of 250,000 medical appointments, according to a statement by a National Health Service official on Saturday. This marks an expected continuation of hundreds of different protests across many industries demanding the bare minimum, a wage increase to balance out the 10+% inflation rate in the country. The Dalai Lama has apologized after facing allegations of inappropriate behavior for kissing a young boy on the lips and asking him to suck his tongue at a public event in India. What was originally dismissed as the Dalai Lama's humorous, teasing nature has now been accepted as wholly inappropriate and offensive by the religious leader. Quote, "His Holiness wishes to apologize to the boy and his family, as well as his many friends across the world, for the hurt his words may have caused." A record number of super-rich Norwegians are abandoning Norway for low-tax countries after the center-left government increased wealth taxes to 1.1%. More than 30 Norwegian billionaires and multimillionaires left Norway in 2022. Their reasoning for abandoning their usual patriotic fervor is, as usual, that they're fulfilling their responsibility towards their organizations and shareholders, a common PR strategy camouflaging their unwillingness to part ways with chunks of their astronomical income as a way to pay back the very society which made their success possible. The US Navy has posted a destroyer close to contested waters in the South China Sea, after China simulated an aircraft carrier strike on the island of Taiwan. The Board of Governors of the State University System of Florida has banned TikTok from use on all university-owned devices. This follows a trend in Florida of trying to outpace the rest of the country in draconian crackdowns on media, literature, and civil rights, a crusade spearheaded by far-right presidential hopeful Ron DeSantis. And in positive news, it appears peace could be on the horizon in Yemen. According to a government source, on Sunday, Saudi Arabia and Yemen's Houthi militia engaged in talks at reviving a ceasefire in the war-torn nation, following more than 8 years of deadly conflict. In the most optimistic scenario, an official ceasefire announcement is expected to be made within the next 3 days. These developments could bring to an end one of the most significant humanitarian crises of our times. That's all for today. We'll be back day after tomorrow with more news. If you missed them, be sure to check out our previous episodes by following the links on your screen. As always, you can support the show and get the news in text form a few hours early by becoming a patron at patreon.com/firstthought.